The studio lights were blinding, but for Rasheeda Frost, the world had just turned pitch black as she stood in the center of what was supposed to be a standard, controlled taping, only to have a decade of loyalty, sacrifice, and carefully constructed silence incinerated in a single agonizing moment. For years, Rasheeda Frost and Kirk Frost had stood as the ultimate power couple of the industry, weathering storms and battling public rumors to protect the empire they had built together. But today, that fragile dam finally broke when Jasmine walked into the center of the frame with a look of terrifying resolve, her hands trembling not from fear, but from the crushing weight of the nuclear secret she was about to drop. Without hesitation or apology, she pulled a folded document from her bag, her voice slicing through the heavy, suffocating silence of the studio as she announced, "I can no longer keep this a secret, Kirk Frost. This is the confirmation that I am expecting your twins," a declaration that caused the sound of Rasheeda Frost's heart shattering to feel audible, effectively destroying the narrative of their marriage in just 6 seconds, and turning the cameras from capturing reality to documenting a public execution of a family legacy. The producers were frozen, the cast was in a state of total paralysis, and as the news hit the internet, the digital world began to scream with leaked clips and furious fan debates, analyzing Kirk Frost's look of pure, unadulterated terror. Before this explosion, the studio had been deceptively calm, with Rasheeda Frost operating under the false sense of security that she had finally stabilized her life, unaware that Jasmine had systematically bypassed production security to ensure this confrontation would be permanent and unavoidable. The reveal was an absolute ambush, shifting Rasheeda Frost's demeanor from vulnerable confusion to an aggressive protective rage as she lunged toward the source of her pain, realizing in real time that her legacy was being stolen, leading to a scene of chaotic physical altercations that brought the entire production to a screeching, irreparable halt. As cell phone footage flooded social media channels, the click gap widened with millions of viewers dissecting every frame, questioning whether Kirk Frost had orchestrated this or if he was simply a victim of his own unchecked deceit, with the internet becoming an immediate courtroom for the trial of their marriage. The scandal rapidly spiraled from a domestic dispute into a blacklist fallout, when it was uncovered that a trusted high-level business associate within their inner circle had been actively facilitating the cover-up for months, fabricating meetings and providing alibis for Kirk Frost's late-night disappearances. This betrayal hit Rasheeda Frost with the force of a wrecking ball, as she realized that while she was busy building a corporate empire, those she trusted most were systematically poisoning her foundation from the inside, shifting the narrative from a simple affair to a massive, multi-layered conspiracy. The nuclear final revelation peaked when Kirk Frost desperately tried to retreat behind a hollow plea for a paternity test. But the damage was irreversible. Jasmine methodically detailed how their relationship had spanned months, fueled by secret, lavish after-parties and thousands of dollars in financial support diverted directly from the joint accounts that Rasheeda Frost and Kirk Frost shared. Every time Kirk Frost attempted to mitigate the fallout by claiming it was an isolated incident, Jasmine countered with more damning evidence, including text messages, shared bank records, and the shocking revelation that they had already begun picking out names for the children, leaving Rasheeda Frost to face the humiliating reality that her husband had been actively planning a new life behind her back, while simultaneously promising her that their own marriage was entering a new, stronger chapter. The air in the studio became toxic, filled with the echoes of accusations that reached the ears of family members watching from home, who began calling in to demand immediate, drastic action, further isolating Kirk Frost as his associates and business partners scrambled to protect their own reputations. Beyond the immediate chaos, industry experts are already weighing in on the long-term impact this will have on their marketing agreements and the Young Rich brand, noting that the sheer toxicity of this event could result in a massive loss of corporate sponsorships and a permanent stain on their public reputation. Even the legal teams are now being dragged into the fray, with whispers circulating that custody lawyers are already drafting plans for the potential division of assets, given that Rasheeda Frost may now be forced to fight for the financial security of the family she worked so hard to sustain. As the confrontation deepened, Jasmine dropped yet another bombshell, claiming that she possessed digital archives of conversations between Kirk Frost and other industry figures, suggesting that this wasn't just a singular lapse in judgment, but part of a much larger, darker pattern of behavior that Kirk Frost had been suppressing for years, leaving the entire cast in stunned silence as the walls of his carefully constructed reality began to crumble. The psychological weight of this event cannot be overstated. It was not merely about infidelity, but about the total collapse of trust and the public dismantling of the Rasheeda Frost brand, forcing her to confront whether her marriage was ever anything more than a carefully curated performance for the cameras. Moreover, reports from the set indicate that the production team is now in a frantic race against time to determine what footage can actually be cleared for air, with network executives reportedly terrified that the sheer brutality of the confrontation could lead to legal blowback if they fail to properly navigate the sensitive nature of the pregnancy revelation. Meanwhile, the online fervor has reached a fever pitch, with thousands of fans organizing digital petitions to save Rasheeda Frost from further humiliation, while others are dissecting the historical patterns of Kirk Frost's professional and personal choices, creating a feedback loop of outrage that threatens to engulf his entire career in the entertainment sector. As the hours stretched into a tense, volatile standoff, the air remained thick with unresolved anger, with Jasmine refusing to leave the set until the paternity was acknowledged and Rasheeda Frost left to contemplate the ruins of the life she had poured her soul into protecting, leaving fans to flood the comments with theories about who else knew, why they stayed silent, and how the young rich legacy could ever possibly survive this level of destruction. This is the turning point that changes everything for the Frost legacy, and the shockwaves are only getting stronger. The upcoming episodes promise even more devastating fallout as the legal, financial, and personal ramifications play out on a global stage. And now we turn the question to you. Should Rasheeda Frost walk away and cut all ties? Or is the bond they've built over the years worth saving despite this monumental betrayal? Drop your thoughts in the comments below using #TeamRasheeda or #TeamTruth. And make sure you hit that subscribe button right now to stay locked into this developing disaster. Because what is coming next in this saga is going to change the entire game forever.